Commanding General of DevMount. Mr. Andrew Clements from CPE Ground. Colonel Tom Monahan, Director of Lieutenant General James M. Gavin Join Innovation Outpost. Colonel Jeff Roberts, Chief Technology Officer of the 75th Innovation Command. Colonel Christian Patterson, Director of Innovation, 75th Innovation Command. And chairing our panel of judges, Brigadier General Sean French, the 18th Airborne Corps Assistant Commanding General of Operations. The history of warfare is innovation, from guerrilla tactics during the Revolution to trench warfare in World War I, to drones and electronic warfare in modern day. Each conflict brings new problem sets that... Good morning. Welcome to the 12th Annual 18th Airborne Corps Dragon's Lair Innovation Competition, where we bring soldier solutions in front of real leaders in the 18th Airborne Corps and outside the 18th Airborne Corps. We'd like to extend our gratitude to all general officers, command sergeants major, and distinguished guests in attendance today. At this time, we'd like to recognize the judges presiding over the competition.
On behalf of Lieutenant General Anderson, fellow judges, guests, and especially our innovators, welcome to Dragon's Lair 12. To the innovators and mentors up front, I want to thank you for the immense time and effort you have put into this up to this point. As soldiers in the field, we know that we must be all ready to fight from the position. Bring your best pitches. Best of luck to everyone, all the way.
Effectively harness the innovative ideas of their soldiers, those with first-hand battlefield knowledge, and quickly turn them into solutions. Tactical innovation aims to bridge the gap between these frontline insights and the resources needed for development, ultimately accelerating progress and improving outcomes. These contestants have developed projects that address challenges at the point of need to improve their formations. We are incredibly proud to be showcasing their groundbreaking work. Join me in a round of applause for the contestants. Each contestant will have no more than 10 minutes to articulate their problem and solution, while describing the scale, feasibility, and way forward to implement the solution to the panel of judges. After their presentation, the judges will have 5 minutes and any additional time the presenter is seated to ask clarifying questions. Once all the contestants have presented and answered the panel's questions, the judges will separate and deliberate and announce the winner of the competition. Before the contestants present, please join me in welcoming Brigadier General French for opening remarks.
The whole way we came up with this problem was on our last CENTCOM deployment. For the constraint, obviously we know that the drum buster is limited by its expensive proprietary battery. You'll see a picture of it. It's also coming up to our drum right there. But on the left side, we have a prototype 1. It is on the top of the picture. As you can tell, it's very rudimentary. We want a prototype 2. We can do something and train other soldiers to kind of build these cables for their units as well.
For drum, we noticed that, or when we ran our program, or we ran our cable, the drum buster battery drain was lasting for 35 minutes. Drum buster says the battery is going to last 45 minutes when we charge.
On the soldier touch points that you've had with this piece of equipment, specifically, frequency and types of scenarios in which soldiers were given the opportunity to experiment or demonstrate this piece of equipment.
Life-threatening injuries. Before you see the DD 689, a form that requires the soldier to fill out their administrative data, go to their commander, decide whether it was in line with duty or not, then they go get triaged by the medic, then they get treated, and then it finally makes its way to the battalion sooner. As soon as that form is generated, we've taken and made an entirely digital process. Commander sees it as soon as the soldier submits it, medic verifies, make sure the data is correct, make sure it's actionable. We can do something with that data before anybody has to pay created until the soldier is done, to the tune of over $2 billion. Over 500 million of which is the direct medical cost. The rest of it is operational loss.
Ladies and gentlemen, what we just saw was a synthetic demo with synthetic data in form, and once you digitize it, the capability unlocks. By taking that structured data, we're able to route it for earlier medical visibility for the soldier, route it for earlier medical visibility to the medic and the clinician. We're able to detect formation level patterns. We're able to apply targeted interventions to cohorts and units experiencing a higher injury burden before they resolve the profiles. Most of Genesis remains a system of record. Prism uses non-PHI readiness operational data signal. Prism works at every echelon, from providing fast review and care to the soldier, by enabling information level patterns, expanding the commander's decision space in enterprise so we can retain lessons learned and operationalize practices that improve formations and active workflows to proactive readiness. Let's act before readiness is lost. Thank you, ladies and gentlemen.
So you hit the mark with me, I did last month before I left. So does it create any greater load on the medical system in terms of requiring them to do more work with pilots, or can it just be pulled from
paper, the medic reviewing the piece of paper and triaging accordingly. What Prism enables is a workflow that's streamlined and cross-echelon from the individual soldier.
Did you have a vendor build it, or soldiers coding?
Sir, I built the system.
Training data. On your demo, it was correlating data with injuries, with unit training schedules, with AFT scores. How do you touch those systems of records to get that data?
That's a great question, sir. So there's various systems of records that can integrate into Prism, as well as the triaging workflow with speed of care for that soldier so we can prevent acute injuries from progressing. That's an excellent question, sir. So I met with key stakeholders such as medics that approved the workflow. They saw the potential.
An event at sick call, or is it an app? How does the soldier enter together?
Great question, sir. A course in Python and just elaborating through on that ever since.
So this was your first product out of Python?
No, sir. So I built different projects throughout the years. This is just one of them.
Okay.
The Lair Innovation Lab for around 6 months before PCS in here. So that poses a risk to the board to be lost. It normally goes on top for the passengers, and it's a snap fit. In the pictures, it's a straight snap fit, but in the updated version that y'all have, we put holes in the side, in the blanks. 3rd Brigade just recently requested the mounts, and I talked to some people at 3rd ID. I know they're getting ISB, so I'm pretty sure. Same durability as on.
Definitely lost welcome. Just wanted to make sure that everybody.
And it needs to be able to detach and to detach quickly. Because ISB, we can't.
Make a change to it. You were your shop,
My shop solely has the data for it now.
On an RV repair business.
little for JLTVs, and so we started running scenarios through our AI, we call it. So right now it's working on something called Shotgun Key, and that's on the civilian side. We haven't gotten anything on the military side yet, so I've talked to some other innovation officers. I know that there is a PMCS system that they're okay, so that's what I want to come in and make sure we keep it reliable as new information comes in. Because I don't remember 50 years ago, we might still be, or it might be our own dialogue when we get an EMP or whatever.
Every hose has its own spot, so you know when you open that box, you see I need 12 hoses for a 4-point. I have 12 hoses.
So the 50K.
To really buy into the mission, and the more time that they buy into it, the more they want to get better. They see the staff sergeants working harder than they are. You know, it doesn't break or
really across the board, all the way from the weather to the force.
Either air drop or swim loading to make sure that the metal that we're using doesn't collapse under a canopy or under a swing load. They're also working on another innovation at Fort Campbell to figure out exactly
with this innovation sort of thing. Do you think that's going to be limitation?
pounds without all the BII in it. The BII brings it to about.
Thank you for joining us for the final 5 projects that are being presented here at Dragon's Lair. Leading off for the presentations after our break is going to be Sergeant Citizen presenting IHIP's Conjure.
Good afternoon, everybody. I'm Sergeant Citizen. I'm attached to 319 Airborne Corps Regiment, that is Black Falcons. I work as a Fort observer within Black Falcons. That's also attached to White Falcons. So I work with both the artillery. On that jump, while I was wearing it, I collided with a truck on the drop zone. So it survived the stress test in that aspect. However, that it helped me return to duty faster. So normally that's a 30-day return to duty. I completed the program in 5 days. You can notice the difference in comfortability for the ACH versus the IHIPs, especially with the headband system. Hurt them to wear it for a long period of time. I will now open up the floor to questions. With the IHIPs Gen 1, and they said that it would not work with the Gen 2. Yeah, we didn't want it to be too strong so that if it did catch on any form of airborne operation, it would still break away if it was required to. However, I hadn't broken one on any kind of jump yet. That's the first Horizon one we've broken.
I'm good at breaking things.
Version 12 has one attachment point to the attachment point.
Yes.
These two pieces, how do you really see this being scaled across the jump community?
Ideally, this would just be something that gets issued with the helmet, because it just allows modularity to the helmet. It doesn't change anything to the helmet. It's actually lighter than the native mounting points on the helmet. Version 10 is a little heavier because you have the metal bolts, but these native ones here, if you replace it with these present ones, it's actually lighter. These are a little bit stronger natively because it's not made out of 3D printed material. It's carbon fiber reinforced. We can do something similar.
Our SCUFOs on the electromagnetic warfare, which can at first would be a tech mounted, and really created as a
between us, we have 3 deployments to the Middle East as EW operators, and the one thing that we've seen and others have shared with us is that the way the Army deploys is extremely in the context of large-scale combat operations. We embed EW operators into newer formations, and then provide ground post commanders to scroll through thousands of data entries on a spreadsheet, which is dozens of columns wide, and try and correlate different signals, and then map it out physically to see if there's anything of significance. There's too many signals. We're getting gigabytes and gigabytes of, and then as well as what they've been saying, if it's unencrypted comms, XVIII server. Now the operational use case, when we developed this, our intent was this to support the loitering and persistent ISR that we have with us. Right? The problem set for them is that they've always described it in the metaphor that they're looking at the world we want to, and what that does is that now we can't use any processing from those very our program does. We tested this in our Squad 6. This is the same exact thing that you see here underneath the ghillie suit. We operate with the scouts, and they use this. So for what we want this to be an enterprise level tool that's packaged with the EW system drive, and they're using it as well. For our ask, because this is a software, we want
the EW signature of that device. So, troopers hiding, can't be seen by the eye, but EW can pick it up or not.
So this is no emissions for detection.
Passive.
Yes.
Location, in the same sense we're looking for EW, they're EW guys looking for us. So we try to remove all emissions.
Talked at in the last 2 years a lot about mesh networks. How does in a mesh network, is this able to identify like what we need to know and like what nodes we want to target or what different nodes mean? Or is a mesh network just overwhelm the system and provide you a whole bunch of normalized data?
So we don't, this program isn't necessarily built to feed multiple systems at the same time, but what you can do, especially during one of the calibration models,
the plan could be just have everybody broadcasting everywhere all the time. Like, can this system tell me, like, where's that key node that I want to strike?
Yes, sir. So what I believe you're referring to is the hide in the noise concept people have been pushing.
Yes, on the islands, it's about 15, so about 10 years now, or a little over 10 years of decline. On the island, I use for different use cases, we are food surveying, search and rescue. Coming over the cost prices of this, but for our timeline, in February we had the idea, we created the first prototype towards the end of the month. In March, the first week, we did testing with that prototype. In the middle of March, we moved into phase 2 with some historical costs. One vehicle cost $870, and charging for spare parts, that gets you $2,500 per system. So first brigade, with our own money, GPC, we spent $10,000 able to get 5 systems, or 10 of these ground vehicles. Drive 2 miles, I was in my off with my OIC, and we're driving it from his computer while I was out in the field. We were able to get 2 miles with extra battery life. We were able to send 20 flights of stairs without any issues. The recommended is about 50 to 100 pounds, enough for like a routine charge for your product. Our forward team is testing it. Like I said, it is modular. Although we created for reaching, it is now being. Like I said, it can move if needed. Again, recommended weighs 50 to 100 pounds. It can self-right if nothing is on it. The paratrooper again will flip the vehicle. So it's upside down, and utilizing the arm on it is self-right. As long as nothing is on top. We're seeing how the torque and brushes. Of this build, the schematics, we can modulate it to however we want to.
Have you done any coordination with 20 engineers here on Bragg?
We can, if the units want a bigger version, we can find how them.
Do you have different different mission set equipments that bolt on? How many are you envisioning?
We currently testing it with readiness problem. If soldiers across active duty, National Guard reserves are not getting consistent repetition on communications equipment before those communications become mission critical.
Detailing the critical digital training readiness gap, and their conclusion was correct. The single, one-time institutional training model to train soldiers is insufficient. See, a soldier may leave a course familiar how to operate equipment, but they still may lack the depth and adaptability to employ it under pressure. CP0
Repetitions come from is from friction. We have schoolhouses, we have equipment, we have instructors, but at the unit level,
speed soldiers can continue training after duty hours. Last but not least, it has to have measurable performance. The solution should not replace instructors or on-the-job training. It should empower them. Now, is this for small arm training, right? What does the EST do? It doesn't replace instructors. It doesn't replace live fire training. It certainly does not replace on-the-job training. But what it does is two things. It reduces risk, and it gets soldiers repetition before they
industry in a way, because that full-time job is software really, so we can work stuff out.
So it's a training team.
Equipment 300 to 400 yards, it takes a lot of effort. And with this XCOM FARP, we're able to simplify that by creating a system that makes everything centrally located, and we can continue to improve this and make it faster for setup and teardown. The design constraints. When we first built the first iteration last summer, we realized that it was too big. It couldn't be pushed out of the helicopter without breaking the back of the Chinook. So what we've learned with the new current version that is outside is that it needs to be sling load compatible and air droppable. And the reason for that is that if ground blocks are flat, we need a way to get fuel forward. So what we did is we matched it to the size of the double CDS bundle. So it's 48 by 48 by 96, which allows us to use the current systems that are in place. Additionally, we're using the existing Army equipment. We're not reinventing anything. We're using the current FARP hoses, ballast adapters, and support equipment, as you saw out front. Additionally, they need to be hazmat compliant. When you work with fuel, hazmat is a big deal. So right now, the current system is that you throw everything into a kicker box, or you throw it into the back of a helmet, or you throw it into the side box. Kicker boxes break down over time, and there's not a great way to dispose of the fuel that's at the bottom of those boxes. The XCOM FARP has a tray underneath that allows for a one-way valve so we can pull that tank out at the end of a mission and dump it into an environmentally friendly container and dispose of it properly. Additionally, it needs to be expeditionarily transportable. It needs to be able to fit into a Chinook, it needs to be able to fit into that C-130, it needs to be able to be sling loaded. Those are all things that allow us to fit within the Army strategic and tactical transportation requirements. And additionally, there's no change in fueling procedures. What these fuelers learn at AIT and how they learn how to fuel will not change. This was built with the soldier in mind, and it was engineered for the fight. Our objective was not to reinvent Army fueling operations, it was to make existing FARP equipment faster to deploy, easier to transport, and simpler to account for, while meeting the Army's operational requirements. Some of the metrics that we have learned already, last November we did an airdrop where we dropped a 2-point FARP. We set it up within 15 minutes. There's no standard for that, but we set the standard back in November. Currently, CAP standard for a 4-point gas station 4-point FARP is approximately 60 minutes. With the new and improved XCON, we look to get that under 30 minutes. When we were at NTC, we did 11 jump FARPs. Every time, it was a little bit over an hour. With the XCON system, we look to put that under an hour, so that when we go out, we have aircraft ready to go and off the X within 1 hour. The same with the jump FARP. With the night jump FARP, we palletized it, but what we learned was that even though
and types of scenarios in which soldiers were given the opportunity to experiment or demonstrate this piece of equipment.
With the cable, sir?
Yes, sir.
We left it in the 401 Academy in Fort Bragg for one of their kind of UAS academies. So Mr. Bobby up there had his first retired course. They got to take it out to the field and experiment with it using it. The only thing we haven't experimented with is if we have an extended range on it because we're pushing a little more power than that.
Any significant lessons captured other than the one you just mentioned?
It was with our prototype 2 and our final right now. So the prototype 2, that's when we kind of decided that we need to go with a different shielding on the wire to protect it better than what we currently had. So that's why we extended to prototype 3, which is our final product now. We went into the Lair's website and they kind of specified like how they built the cable to the Army standards and how they got approved for it. So I kind of went off those standards.
Okay.
And the only reason I did that is just because going into any other product, like commercial product available, I didn't know if that would touch the standards that the Army has. That's why I went with something that was pretty.
Okay. Yeah, we want to make sure that the design is robust in all environments. You know, so for cold, for cracking, shock, especially if it gets kinged at all.
As soon as our platoon live wire is down. We hope we will.
Please welcome Preventative Readiness Information Signal Module, PRISM, presented by Specialist Argonautics.
Before you see the DVIDS, a form that has remained almost entirely unchanged since the 1960s. Requires the soldier to fill out their administrative data, go to their commander, decide levels, in line, and remains out of that department. There is an opportunity for that data to be used. And it begs the question, what could we do if we saw the pattern sooner? Commanders don't see the loss until something has already happened. By the time those forms get back, the soldier's already on profile.
We have structured digital signal data, leveraging AI to gain insights.
Begin with a simple command question. Where should I look first? At core level, leaders see where readiness burden is rising, where outcomes are improving, and where a localized signal warrants attention. Look sooner. Inside 315 Infantry, a company carries the highest burden. The trend is worsening. The affected cohort is identified, and recent encounters are associated with rock and load activity. Yet current full duty availability remains 89%. This is the decision window. The formation can still look ready, while the underlying signal is moving in the wrong direction. Review command.
I'm in charge of craft engineer and I'm the lead instructor for the advanced course, which is the Basic Academy Manufacturing course. Before I got here, I was at Fort Stewart. I was a third vehicle supervisor, and I worked at the Army Innovation Lab for around 6 months before we said to me. So the ISB, in order for soldiers to be backbone battlefield, they need to be able to shoot, move, and communicate. With the ISB, the soldiers can move swiftly. They can dismount and engage the enemy quickly, but the problem lies with communication. The ISB does not have any communication mounts for antennas or radios. So for this solution that we came up with, a soldier would have to carry a man pack or an antenna, and the antenna would probably be sitting about 3 feet out the ISB, so that poses a risk to the force to be lost or a soldier issue in case of an accident. That mounts on the top or the side of the vehicle. And for the 160 radios, it's a protective case with a either commercial purchase or recently we redesigned the clamp to be 3D printed in-house for the attachment for the roll cage.
So the average diagnostic time for regular maintenance on a vehicle is about 3 hours. Cut that down to 30 minutes. If your mechanic shop doesn't have the skill or expertise or the equipment to do the repair, you're sending it to ECS or ANZA, and who knows where you're going to get that vehicle back. The other problem we have is finding technical manuals for the vehicles. You can look for them, they get lost, it's a challenge. The other problem we have is keeping your experienced maintainers. You have technicians that either retire, EGS, BCS, and then you're stuck with the young guys who don't know how to use work on that old equipment, or they just never touched it. Or you have some new equipment that's coming in and no one's been trained on. And so then you're relying on contractors and they cost money, it's a challenge. And then you're losing that knowledge, right? When those guys retire,
What systems would those be the application? To pull all the historical maintenance data?
Yes, sir.
All different models to keep the database. Bridge division of Fort Stewart, based off of the server.